Let's talk about the CBC now, where taxpayers will be paying quite the sum of money. A decision just came down from the CRTC today, with taxpayers getting set to pay more for CBC programming for at least the next 5 years. This is after the Canadian Radio and Television Commission renewed the broadcaster's French and English mandatory carriage license. The renewal ensures the CBC will continue operations in radio and television broadcasting. Let's get more on this breaking news development from our very own Brian Lilley, who's getting set to do his own show tonight. But this is a huge decision, Brian, coming from the CRTC, especially when we're fighting for mandatory carriage too.
And that's why we view this as a positive decision. There's a lot going on in this decision, everything from them allowing Radio 2 to sell advertising, their general licenses being renewed, changes to how certain channels operate. But within the decision, is the CRTC saying either English or French CBC News networks will be offered for every Canadian cable or satellite subscriber. So it's not exactly taxpayers, Anita, but taxpayers, generally have cable bills or satellite bills as well. So in addition to the $1.1 billion annually that CBC gets from taxpayers, every home will be paying either 10 or 15 cents per month through their cable or satellite bill for one of the two CBC news channels, either CBC News Network or its French counterpart, RDI.
So tell us now, in addition to all of that, the mandatory carriage issue, they're also given another major change as well, right? This is sure to anger fans, competitors, taxpayers, the whole kit and caboodle. This is with respect to radio.
That's right. This is the radio question. So CBC Radio 2, which is their music channel, it used to mainly be classical music with a bit of jazz. They've mixed it up quite a bit over the last few years, trying to figure out what their audience wants and angering their audience at the same time. Well, now that audience is going to be angry because they're going to hear, oh, heaven forbid, awful commercials in the middle of their radio day. So that's the fan base of CBC will be angered by that. On the other side, their competitors in private radio. There are hundreds of private radio stations across Canada serving cities and towns big and small. Well, they will now have to compete with their taxpayer-funded competitor. Just like in TV, these companies already pay income taxes on their corporate tax side. Their employees pay income taxes, and then those taxes are used to fund their competitors. So that's going to upset that side of the Canadian broadcast system, and that's another bit. Just another quick part on the News World and RDI section, Anita, and that is that when these channels were started 25 years ago, CBC said, well, they're not going to be subsidized by taxpayers. They will not. They will be separate books. News World will be News World, as it was called back then, and we won't cross-subsidize using taxpayers' money. That's no longer the case.
Interesting.
In the decision today, the CRTC said we will get rid of that section of the license, and so now they can fully integrate. They don't have to pretend that they're anything but fully integrated. They can cross-subsidize all they want, and they continue to get this special mandatory carriage. But we do hope that that is a positive sign for Sun News.
And that's the question I was just going to ask you about right there. The fact that, because you alluded to it off the top of your discussion there, this could be a positive step for Sun News because as we know, as the whole country knows, we are up in front of the CRTC. We just wrapped up our hearings. We're awaiting a decision from the CRTC with respect to mandatory carriage.
That's right. And so we've put in our application. It's very similar. It's for the same thing. It's called the technical term is a 91H distribution order. Very technical. It means nothing to anyone outside of the cable or satellite business. But we want the same treatment. We want to be on everyone's cable package. Well, it would be very strange for the CRTC to say, yes, well, CBC's news channels have to be carried, but not Sun News. So we are going to be keeping a close eye on this. We hope this bodes well for us. I was speaking with Corey tonight, the vice president of Sun News.
Well, what's he saying?
And he says this is consistent with what we've asked for. We view it in a positive way, and he added that in his view, every Canadian all-news channel should be available in every Canadian home.
All right, it's rock and roll. Let's see what happens here, right, Brian?
I hope so.
Okay, I know you'll be talking about it tonight on your show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That and more. The CBC accountability stuff, we'll have more on all that as well tonight.
Okay, quickly give us a tease on that.
It's an internal fight among the Conservatives with backbench MP trying to open up CBC and to more accountability, and the federal public service in general, and the Justice Minister saying, no, we're going to make changes to the bill and enforce them through. So we'll see how this fight ends.
Yeah, and Prime Minister Harper probably fielding questions in about 2 hours' time, so that should be interesting too. A lot happening in your neck of the woods in Ottawa. Thanks, Brian.
Always busy. Bye.
Okay, that of course is Brian Lilley of Byline, and of course it's your Air Canada cross-country check-in.